after about a week-long run in both Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're seeing a pullback. So it's a good time to give you guys a refresher update and go over some of these levels. But first, let's go over last week's support and resistance level in the short term. We were trading right around 21,500 when we posted this. And the short-term resistance was all the way up at 23,400. And we beat these checkpoints. We went upwards of 24,000, right around 200-ish or something like that. And then we got ETH here, trading around 1366. The short-term resistance was 1450, and we bumped that up to 1,600. So now we're seeing the pullback here. Let's go over the charts. Give you guys some updates. First, we got Bitcoin to start with. Finally had this breakout over the 34, which we haven't seen since then, since April 9th. So big start of this downtrend. We've finally seen somewhat of a pop, and now we've started the retracement. If we can see that we had two fake outs right here back in February, both times that we popped over the 34. It got rejected here at the 89, got rejected at the 89, kind of here too. This wouldn't be a entry candle, these two were, but you would have entered here and then gotten faked out here. And then the last time after that was in the middle of March, where we did actually have a run. We ran from 40,000 to about 48,000, and then basically lost it all down here and then gave it away. And now here's our short position. So looking at the 4-hour here, if we zoom out, if we can kind of see this bottom forming, kind of like this 200 MA has not been broken out, very similar to R34 on the daily. It's the first time it's breaking out. On the 4-hour here, you have the breakout, and now we're going up. So this is the first time that we've been above all of our moving averages. And then if you drew yourself a fib from this high right here that we created down to this low, which was validated by this higher low, you could have traded those levels yourself as well, with the top being at 23,650, but we went up as high as 24,200, so about 800 to 900 bucks ish more than the fib level. But you can't get all of the trade, you can just get the fillet of the trade. Once it passes that golden ratio fib right here, good time to be out of a decent part of your position, and then just keeping some off on the reserve, like 20-30% ish of your trade. Now if we're still in a bullish pattern, likely to see a retracement down to about 22,100, probably about 22,200 to be more realistic, and then we'll have another test of support here. If we lose the support here at 22,200-ish, we'll drop down to 21,500. So very similar levels to last week, with some minor adjustments, with the level below that of 21.3. But generally, if you lose this, you're just going to drop pretty down quick to about 20,500. So still in a bullish chart here on the 4-hour. It's the first time that we're over every single moving average here. Nice breakout. So in a bullish case, we need to hold this area right here to keep things going up, and then continue back upwards in a uptrend. So bull case, if bears take control, we have a failure here, and then this level becomes tested, and then bulls will have to control here. If they cannot, we drop down further here. So if you're playing bullish, you watch for the rejection here. If you entered correctly here on the Thanos entry here, drew your fibs, if you would have taken some profit here, and then taken most of your profit here, and then left some riding to determine here. Now, once you lose this 34, right, that's when you start to get weaker and weaker. If you are no longer bullish, and then as you start to break down every color, if you get weaker and weaker, and then if you break down here, we're just going to have a drop down to this to the support range to put it in the most simplest forms. But either way, if you entered here at 20K, got out at 23,600, great trade right there. I personally was not trading Bitcoin or Ethereum myself. I'm just holding them long, of trading the alts, having more fun over there. But yeah, here is the levels for Bitcoin. Let's go over ETH. So this is ETH on the 4 hour right here. We see the stochastics of continuously of oversold, and then we finally had this drop, kind of got us this dip. But before we go over the 4 hour, let's go over the daily like we did with Bitcoin. Very, very similar story here. If you see the one, that entry wouldn't be two fake outs that resulted in a drop, and then we had this spike right here above the 34th, Thanos strat and out, and then you would have played the short here. But now we have a candle over the 34. You have the 8 EMA going over the 34 as well. So blast strat right there. When the 8 EMA is crossing up above the 34, much higher conviction and probability of it going upwards than if the 8 EMA is below it. And if we look on Bitcoin right now, let me just erase all this junk. If we look on Bitcoin, you have that situation, but it's literally just starting. Like, I have to zoom in incredibly close for you guys to see that. That the 8 EMA has started its wind up. So in a bullish scenario, just like we went over, Bitcoin holders would want for there to be a support bounce here and continue up to the upside. And if the 8 EMA continues to rise up, you'll have more probability. Now, if the 8 EMA starts to decline, then less probability there. But let's go back to Ethereum. So here we have ETH that, we kind of said, just like on Bitcoin, this is that top zone right here. If this top zone breaks up, we'll see like a nice pop out, and we did have a pop out, but now they just need to test this range, because of this range was a level that just could not be broken. Here one time, here 2 times, and then here 3 times. So if you had a triple top, basically, but you've had 3 higher lows as well, and they finally popped it, and now they're testing. And on ETH, if we're going to see the very same situation of, like we said on ETH, I think 2 videos ago now, and as well as the last video. If you're just simply trading price action, no EMAs on the chart, nothing on the chart besides your candles, trading price action, if you would have entered on the pop of this 1, 2, 3 triple top as well, and you can see it's made a higher low, and then you have this pop out. Now, again, that's trading no price action. Like if I was just simply trading my candles, I would have traded this pop right here. This would have been the candle of entry, and then now you're gonna test this support. So if the 8 EMA is still there, let me hide that. So if I was trading pure price action, I would be testing here to see if the bulls hold this level. Now this is just trading, again, price action of no EMA. So if you need the bulls to test this level and shoot up for you, and to exactly this level, because if this is right here, this is the next level where there is price action, of where there's resistance. So this would be the next resistance area from 1700 all the way up to 1830, 1850 range. If that's your next area, bulls gave that right here at 1600 so far, but if we're looking for a retest here. Let's put our EMAs back on so we can see it a little bit easier, especially if you're newer to the charts. If you look right here where without any EMAs on, if I kind of drew this as a support area, right? If we have the level of action here at 1320 all the way up to 1380, there's 3 days of action in that price range. So it's funny how you see the EMAs kind of line up here as well, right? So if the EMAs just help us with that price action if we're newer to trading, making things easier, and overall it's just an easier way to teach things. Right here on ETH, 1450 was our golden ratio right here. This is the golden ratio. So if you could have entered it's kind of a crappy entry here, but if you would have sniped your way on this daily chart of using the 4-hour of entering right over here at this 1130 all the way up to 210 range, just because of all these entries are not that great. I would say to enter on a full green candle above. None of these are, and this one is intercepted of the 34. However, something to help you kind of manage that risk again is if that 8 EMA is actually wrapping up, this candle might not be so bad. Having that 8 EMA coming up from under gives you a lot more higher probability of especially coming from a big downtrend. So let's remember that. It might help us out a lot in the future. But yeah, you would have entered right around here, took most of your profits here at 1450 if you were trading ETH. But bulls, their next target was 1727, but it got let off the steam. So look for a retracement. Now, both Bitcoin and ETH. So on Bitcoin, the 8 EMA T line, we also call it the T line, and the 34 are touching. So the probability of the pullback shows us about 22,100. On ETH, it's actually a little bit different, which might help you alt traders out, like myself as well. The 8 EMA is actually much higher than the 34 here. And you can see if I erase all of this out, we had a bounce here on the 50 and the 8 right here. So as long as we're testing the 8, we might not have to even test this 34 here. So this will be the first level of where their bears take it to, is about 1420, 1430, and then they're going to test the bounce here off the 8. Now, if they don't hold the 8, that's when we should expect to see the support retracement down to here for the bears. For the bulls to test the 1300 support. So if we fail 1420, expect us to go to like 1350. Usually is more historic, and like 1320ish. But look for this 1300 level next. But who knows? We could retest here and continue make our way up to the 1700 zone. So let's see what happens. Keep those levels in mind. Thanks, guys.